Trees within the lean, clean, and green area should have their lower branches removed to a height of 10 feet. However, removal of branches should not exceed 1/3 of the tree height. Large shrubs and small trees should be removed from under the canopies of larger trees. Lawn, irrigated flower beds, low-growing deciduous shrubs, and ground covers under tree canopies are fine. After you've implemented these lean, clean, and green area recommendations, contact your fire agency about tree thinning. Trees within the area should be thinned to provide a 10 to 30-foot separation between their canopies. Contact your local fire department. Firefighters will come to your property, do a defensible space inspection, and mark the trees needed for removal. These services are provided at no charge to the homeowner. The final lean, clean, and green area recommendation deals with problem tree branches. Trees should be maintained so that there is a minimum of 10 feet separating branch tips from chimneys, roofs, and the sides of the house. This may require pruning tree branches or removal of trees close to the house. Tree branches should not encroach on power lines either. Beyond the lean, clean, and green area is usually wildland vegetation consisting of forest and brush. The wildland fuels reduction area reaches out from the lean, clean, and green area to a distance of 100 to 200 feet, depending upon steepness of slope and type of vegetation, as shown in this graphic. For example, if your house is surrounded by shrubs, such as greenleaf manzanita, and it's located on flat terrain, the distance needed would be 100 feet. If the recommended distance exceeds your property boundaries, seek permission from adjacent landowners before doing work on their properties, or encourage them to do their own work. The effectiveness of defensible space increases when entire neighborhoods implement defensible space practices. Starting a Fire Safe Council chapter in your community is a good way to get neighbors organized and to collaborate on defensible space projects. Within the wildland fuel reduction area, remove dead trees and shrubs, dead branches, and dried grass and flowers. Fallen dead trees that are embedded into the soil can be left in place, but the exposed branches should be removed. Fallen pine needles and other plant litter can be present, but should be less than 3 inches deep. Dense brush fields need to be thinned. On flat to gently sloping land, create a separation between individual shrubs or small islands of shrubs at least twice their height. More separation is needed on steeper slopes. As described for the lean, clean, and green area, remove lower branches to a height of at least 10 feet and remove shrubs from under tree canopies. Once you've completed the other recommendations, contact your local fire agency for advice on tree thinning within the wildland fuel reduction area. Ideally, this should be done at the same time as tree marking for the lean, clean, and green area. In the wildland fuel reduction area, the goal is to create a minimum tree canopy separation of 10 feet. Maintaining your defensible space is an ongoing process. Plants grow back. Flammable vegetation must be routinely removed, and unwanted plant material should be disposed of properly. Before each fire season, reevaluate your property and implement the necessary defensible space zone recommendations. Before we leave the topic of defensible space, we should talk about defending Lake Tahoe and its exceptional clarity. Best management practices, or BMPs, are used to control erosion and maintain Tahoe's water quality. Every Lake Tahoe Basin homeowner is required to follow them. With a little planning, BMPs are compatible with creating an effective defensible space. For example, gravel infiltration systems under roof drip lines are consistent with the objectives of the non-combustible area. If bare ground results from a defensible space practice and poses an erosion problem, consider planting vegetation, using gravel, or covering with wood mulches as previously described in these recommendations. Using gravel under raised decks is another recommended BMP that is consistent with defensible space recommendations. When trees and shrubs are removed, leaving the roots in place is a good erosion control practice, and it's compatible with defensible space goals. The Conservation District can help advise you on how to integrate BMPs with defensible space practices. That could save you time and money. Plus, this service is provided free of charge. The goal for the access zone is to help firefighters find your home and get there in a timely manner. Within the access zone, the home address should be readily visible from the street. Preferably, it should be made of fire-resistant, reflective material with characters at least 4 inches tall. Flammable vegetation should be removed for at least 10 feet on both sides of the driveway. Overhead driveway obstructions like overhanging branches and power lines should be removed or raised to provide at least a 15-foot vertical clearance. Homes located at the end of narrow driveways that are more than 150 feet long should have a turnaround area suitable for fire equipment. Check with your local fire marshal. Living in the beauty of the Lake Tahoe Basin is a privilege, but living here safely is a responsibility. Thank you for watching Living with Fire in the Lake Tahoe Basin. We hope this program will help you live more safely in the basin's high fire hazard areas. For more detailed information about wildfire threat reduction, log on to livingwithfire.info/Tahoe. You can also call your local University of Nevada or University of California Cooperative Extension Office or local firefighting agency and request the publication Living with Fire, a guide for the homeowner. This guide explains how to reduce the wildfire threat to your Tahoe Basin home. For information about defensible space evaluations, tree marking, and other related assistance, contact your local fire agency. A map and contact information for Tahoe's fire agencies can be found on the Living with Fire Lake Tahoe website. The Nevada Fire Safe Council may have funding available for homeowners to help defray the cost of creating defensible space. It can also assist your neighborhood in getting organized to reduce the wildfire threat. To learn more about the Nevada Fire Safe Council, call or visit the Nevada Fire Safe Council website, nvfsc.org. For BMP evaluations and advice, contact your conservation district.